Hi, today's exercise is single leg circle. We are going to get started in a laying down position, so go ahead and join me there. So laying down, we're going to start with some precursors to the single leg circle. Knee bones are bent, feet are flat to the floor. Take your hands connected to the mat. Now we're going to start with knee drops. So I want one leg to open to the side and then bring it right back in towards the center. Another side. The other leg opens to the side and then bring the knee bone upwards towards the ceiling. So I'm thinking that it's opening like a butterfly stretch, and then I control using inner thigh resistance to bring it back up, knee to the sky. Outer hip, it doesn't fall. I control the descent, and then I lift it right back up. That's option one. Option two now, we're gonna lift the leg upwards, so like it's in a tabletop position, and then lower the leg back down. Lift the leg upwards, shin bone parallel to the ground, femur, that's my upper thigh bone, right above my hip socket, and lower it right back down. So we're breaking down the different directions, the different ways that our thigh bone is gonna be working in space for the single leg circle. And so this is a totally okay place to stay if having one leg up in the sky is challenging, which if you have tight hamstrings, it can definitely be challenging. So you can stay with these two options here to work the outer hips, inner thighs, lower abs, and your bottom. Moving on, I'm gonna have one leg straight connected to the floor as the other leg reaches to the sky. Now, because I do have a tight hamstring and tight back, one thing that I notice is as soon as I lift my leg up, my shoulders want to round forward. So I'm really going to try to take my hands into the ground. And it might be that a palms up variation or even an out to the side position works a little bit better for you. I can't go out to the side because of the way my mat is. It's risen from the ground. But with a flat mat, that's totally an okay option as well. So straighten the leg up to the sky, point your toe. Feel like that belly is ingrained into, that leg is ingrained into your belly, into your core. And we're just gonna start by tracing a quarter. Little circle, pause. Little circle, pause. And I want you to think about, as you trace your leg, your belly also works in a circle to control your leg. Your opposite belly has to work to keep your torso from flipping over as that leg goes to the side. And your lower belly works to keep your pelvis from tipping as that leg comes to the ground. And your upper belly works to pull that leg back upwards towards the sky. One more circle here, and then we're gonna go 8 in the opposite direction. Now for your leg circles, I hear all the time, yes, the circles come from your belly, but your thigh is also working here too. So for me, I do feel a lot of inner thigh connection as my leg pulls into my center line, my midline. So it is okay for you to feel your thigh or even your inner thigh. One more circle, and then switch legs. So here, when we switch to the opposite side, I'm going to talk about your straight leg on the ground, because since that leg has worked already, you might feel a little hip flexor activation. Once again, we're in hip flexion, so it is okay to feel it there. But as the leg is into the ground now, you'll also be able to feel that it's lengthening and your bottom and your leg is working to press into the ground here. It's a little bit more obvious to feel that stretch in the front of the hip after we've already worked the leg. So that's why I'm mentioning it on the second side. Straighten your opposite leg to the sky. And now we go 8 circles. Center around, pause. Center around, and pause. So our hamstring for the grounded leg is pressing into the ground, but we still are keeping our heel into the mat. Sometimes I see people press down so much that their foot lifts off the floor. So we still want to keep that heel bone connection. Last circle, pause, point your toe, opposite direction. Toe stays pointed the whole time here. That point, once again, it comes from your thigh, it comes from your belly. So it is okay to feel that quad working. Last 2. One more. Leg bone comes down. Whew, that was nice, wasn't it? So the single leg circles I find can be one that's a little bit more challenging to understand in your body. So it's okay if right off the bat you're like, I don't know if this is where I should be feeling it, or I'm not feeling it where she says I should be feeling it. I don't feel that circle in my belly. That circle in the belly definitely takes time to build up that mind-body connection. I feel like it was one of those connections that I struggled with when I first started Mat Pilates, and it wasn't until I don't even know. I want to say it wasn't until after I had hip surgery that I felt that connection, which means that I had already been practicing Pilates for, I want to say, a couple years. So it is a challenging exercise. I encourage you to stick with it in terms of that mind-body connection. Don't get discouraged. And that's why I say it is okay to feel it in your thigh, your inner thigh, your hip flexor, because sometimes those are weak muscles that need to be strengthened in that direction, right? That's not a direction that we typically have our leg in. So it is going to be work to hold it there. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, send me a message, and I'll see you tomorrow with our next exercise. Have